Hello, so I've had a few people ask me how I created this data visualization in Power BI. What this visualization shows is the number of space missions between 1957 and 2022 by a country that they launched. And as you travel backwards through time, you can see the success and failure rates of each of those launches. And I'll take you through how I made this in Power BI. So first I started with some data. With this data we have the company, location, date, time of launch, the rocket, the mission, rocket status, and a few other columns I've created here. So there were a number of columns that had a lot of missing data, and there was a lot of columns that had a lot of unique values. So I focused on trying to group those. With the location I split out by the country and grouped those that way, and then focused on mission status. So what I initially wanted to do was split out by location and show the number of launches over time in a circular motion. But what I found was that didn't really make an awful lot of intuitive sense to me, as the start date being 1957 and the end date being 2022. It wasn't a cyclic pattern. If we were to add 2023 and 2024, the circle's just growing, and that didn't seem to make a lot of sense. What would make a lot more sense if it was spiral through time, or linear. But linear motion didn't make for a particularly pretty graphic, especially as the points were really, really condensed. So what I wanted to show was enough area to spread out those launch points. So I decided to go for a little bit of a sweeping motion like that. So to add a little bit of interest and also to gain a little bit more surface area. It made a lot more sense than a straight line upward, which made, when reading through time, and added a bit more visual interest. I also felt that the sweeping motion was quite symbolic of rocket launches. They don't always go straight up, they can hover off to the side. So in Power BI I started with a blank canvas and changed the page size to custom, and initially started with a square, and maybe I added a few extra pixels on there. Imported that Charticulator visual, and added my backgrounds for reference. Added data, so popped the data into the visual. And hit edit. So here I just wanted a simple symbol rather than a glyph. Drag the date across like so. And I'm missing, oops. It's not what I wanted. Location. Then I'm going to draw a custom curve. Edit. And then from about here I want to maximize the surface area. Didn't look quite right, so I'll try again. And that's close enough. So it may take a little bit of fiddling for me to get it right, and then some minor adjustments. So changing the size, fill, and opacity as needed. And then adjusting the axes as well. Have the line colors as white, reducing the size, and positioning. Hitting save. And then going back to report. moving the title in the background, and there we have it. So just a little bit of adjustment on the ordering and the size of the points. So with a shape, just dulling down that background a bit. Adding some extra information and then exporting to PDF.